cracking, YouTube? Welcome back to Myers Two-Stroke RC Garage. And today, guys, what we're going to be doing, I'm not going to be doing any ripping, but what I want to do is I want to go over the new parts that I got for the 71, and I wanted to also give a tech tip. And I kind of wanted to go over the weather. I always like to touch on the weather, and the weather's really crazy. As you can see, I'm dressed in my summer attire, and all that stuff. Well, what happened is most of this week it's been in the high 70s and 80s, so I'm really enjoying the weather and all that stuff, and I'm liking it. However, since the 71's been down and stuff, it's kind of been a blessing because I really don't want to take it out and tune it for this nice 80-degree weather, and then next week it's supposed to be back into the 50s and 60s, so I don't want to go out and tune it and then have to retune it in a week. So that's one of the reasons that that I kind of think it's kind of been good that it's been down or whatever, so I'm not always having to mess with the tune. But anyways, guys, I wanted to get you down here closer to the bench, and we'll start going over these new parts, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, I know my bench is a mess, but I got a lot of stuff torn apart right now. So right now, the first new parts I'm going to cover is the hinge. I got the Taylor hinge pin brace, the aluminum hinge pin brace kit or set is what I ended up the first parts we're going to cover. Let me get that. Let me get my tunda working right. But anyways, the reason we're doing it, the only reason I got it is I knocked over the clutch. But the only reason I got it is for this rear one, because I've been through 2 different carbon fiber ones, and the carbon fiber ones with the 40, it would just rip this eyelet right out of the carbon fiber. And then, I busted 2 of the stock aluminum ones, and it did the same thing there. It just ripped it right out of the stock aluminum pop metal. What I did was I made my own hinge pin brace out of steel, and that baby's been holding up. The only thing that's starting to happen here, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, what's starting to happen is, I don't know if you guys can see all that slop in there, but it's wallered out. Those are titanium hinge pins, and it's wallered out that hole I drilled for the hinge pins. So yeah, I want to replace it with these and all that stuff. So, and then I got this has a part number. It's from Rovin, part number 85215. And what I got was, these are they replace the plastic deals that mount your roll cage and they go, some of them, the plastic deals go behind that, but they replace those plastic deals. I'll show you. So what those things do is they replace this. They replace those, and you can see that, I got, ones for each side and all that stuff. So that's some of the other parts that I'm replacing, because it doesn't matter. I can't really put the meats, crank the meats down on this, because it's plastic for one. The nut will just squeeze through the plastic and it won't be no good. But so I get them as tight as I can, but every run, they're like coming loose. And we're going to touch on things coming loose here later on in the video. I'm going to touch on some of that stuff, because that involves some of my tech tip. But yeah, those things, I don't know what you would call them, cage mount, roll bar mount, whatever. But I'm going to be replacing those. So the next step is the clutch. And I went ahead and got a complete clutch because I wanted a brand new one, to replace this one in case it wasn't good, but I compared them, the brand new one with this one. And the reason I ordered the brand new one is just in case this one wasn't good. I couldn't see in there very well, so I didn't know how well this one was, but just in case this wasn't good, basically, I wasn't going to just order springs for this clutch and then, later on find out I needed, breaking more springs, and then find out I need a new clutch because it's, it's overworn or whatever. So what I did was, like I ordered a brand new clutch with brand new springs. And so I put that and I installed it. And what you do to install it is, first off, I don't use piston stoppers. What I do is I shove masonry, I call it masonry cord, but it's actually string. And the Taylor manual tells you how to, tells you to do this, and they prefer not using piston stops. But what I do is I shove the combustion chamber full of that masonry string just before top dead center. And what that does is it compresses that, soft string instead of, you know, being up against a hard piston stop. So first off, you want to stop your engine from being able to spin, and then you can, of course, you can take it off, and then when you're going back together, you want to torque these to 115 inch-pounds. It's like 13 Newton meters, but in the United States, English or whatever, it's converted to 115 inch-pounds. So that's the spec on those. I wanted to go over that. And then I wanted to touch on this. Yes, the only thing that happened here was the spring got fatigued. And I want to let everybody know that this clutch is actually, I'm pretty sure it's 3 seasons old, because I replaced it. That 54 millimeter clutch that came on the 40, it did not last like 2 weeks, and I replaced it with this clutch. And so this clutch has been running, you know, ever since. And then I swapped it over and put it in the 71. So this clutch has really done a good job, and there's still life left. I just need to put springs on it. And, you know, I got a hold of Mike, and he agreed the same thing. You know, the clutch has, you know, with new springs, it will live again, you know. So, so yeah, I kind of wanted to go over that. And then I wanted to go over our tech tip. Okay, so here, let me move my camera remote. But so this is not a new plate, new top tranny plate, but it's off the 35. I keep having to, you know, take parts off the 35 to keep the 71 running. But so that's, I want to keep this thing up and running because I want to get it figured out. So, and then I got a new top brake mount. So these parts, this part is not new, but this part is, and I got a bunch of new fasteners to help me go together with it. And then I kind of wanted to go over, this is where I wanted to go over the tech tip. What I found out through, you know, through a little bit of research and I don't know, whatever you want to call it, you know, people helping me out, you know, people commenting on my posts and stuff, whether it be in Taylor RC, the Taylor RC Facebook group, or my Facebook group, Taylor RC and Roving Performance Group, but they're helping me out. And one of the things that a lot of people said, and that you know, that you can get a bonehead one, and you know that, you know, supposedly takes care of the issue. But I'm going a different way, and I'm convinced that Mike and Michael Wilkins, you know, he's another admin, and Taylor RC, the Facebook group, but they both said that when I'm going together, it looks like something was moving. And usually what happens is, okay, so this goes here. And usually what happens is these back 2 screws that are closest to the engine here, and I'll show you where they set. So one of them goes in right here, right by the, don't worry about that, that's my brake cam, it's just hanging there. But one of them screws in here, and it goes in the front of the front inside of the top brake mount and the lower tranny brace. But anyways, it goes through all that. And then this one does the same thing. And what I have troubles with almost every run, this one will be loose. And probably, I don't know, sometimes I'll catch this one loose, but what I'm trying to say here is they were both saying that something was moving. Well, if this bolt keeps backing out and keeps working itself loose, then something's obviously not tight and something is loose, or something is moving. And they were, you know, both of them were saying that, you know, that will cause, if the stuff isn't completely tight, where there's, you know, no movement allowed whatsoever, with the kind of power that I'm running through this, you know, this 71, I keep telling you, it's mad power. It is. Because if you don't have things tight, it will break shit. It just plain out, it will break it. I mean, you got to have your machine in tip-top shape. And I try to every time I go out, but you know, I don't know. I just do my best, and that's all I can do. So, yeah, I wanted to go over that. You must have anything in the rear, you know, all these bolts here in the rear, everything must be tight, because if anything's shifting, it's going to break stuff. And so, you know, that's why I wanted to take care of, you know, the hinge pin slop and stuff. I don't want any of that. You know, it used to be, you know, with a 40, it wasn't really all that big of a deal, but with this extreme power this 71's putting out, it's a major deal, guys. I just wanted to make a quick little tech tip on that sort of thing, because That's what happened to me. You know, you can see by the inside of that, it did not, mine did not hit the spur gear. There's some people saying that theirs would, I don't know, somehow go in and hit the spur gear. Oh, I got that backwards. Somehow theirs would go in. Dang it. Okay, so they were saying somehow theirs would go in, this would shift and go in and hit the spur gear. And that did not happen to me because there's no marks on that. And there's no marks on that either. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see the spur gear, you know, being an issue there. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of do a quick little video, kind of do an update on parts. And, you know, before I go back together, I wanted to do, you know, a quick little tech tip on this, because you know, there's not a lot of people out there. Well, I don't actually even know how many people have these 71s, but anyways, I just want, you know, the information to be out there to help people out, because, man, when you run into stuff like this and you learn something, you know, I try to spread it around. That's what I try to do, you know. I try to help people. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. You know what to do. We will see you in the next one.